Konami Studios. Dark Knight's Death Metal, The Secret Origin. Now here's something. I made the thumbnail before I read the book because I assumed it was going to be a secret origin to the DC universe and not just to the one character. So I'm not going to change it. It's a Superboy Prime story, but just know that my thumbnail has nothing to do with Superboy Prime. This book was great, man. I just love it. I love everything that this book does, everything it brings into light. I love it so much. It just makes me smile. It makes me happy. I love it. This is how you tell a Superboy Prime story in the modern setting. You don't make him the villain anymore. What's the point? What's the point? It's awesome. It's just great. So we open up this book in 1984, and the entire thing is narrated from Superboy Prime's perspective. He's reading a Superman comic at his local, drugstore, and he's just like, oh, I love Superman. And these bullies come over, they're like, what a dork reading Superman, and they kind of pick on him. They rip up his comic book, and then this lady comes over. Her name's Lori. I guess they're the same age, but she's like, why don't you guys just leave him alone? You know, my mom owns this store, and I could get you out of here and be a dick. She helps him. She helps him clean himself up, and then we cut back to his home where he's just packaging all his comic books, and he's such a big fan of Superman. He's even dressed up like Clark. He's looking like him. And we see that Lori's on the phone, and this Clark's like, Lori, why didn't you say Lori's on the phone, Mom? No, so he picks it up. They just start hanging out a lot. You know, they're getting some ice cream, they're watching some movies, playing some games, just hanging out, having fun. Then one day on Halloween, they're gonna go to a party on the beach, and she's dressed up like a mermaid, and of course Clark is going to be Superman. So they're just hanging out, having fun, and Clark just has this ambition. He's just having this drive. He's like, I want to go to space. I feel like I'm being inclined to go there. So he tries flying up, but of course he can't get up, and he's just having fun with his lady. And then a weird asteroid or something goes by, and Clark makes a wish, and suddenly he is flying, goes to space, and he just meets up with Superman, and it's literally just it's crisis. There's the anti-monitor, there's the world's falling apart, everything bad is happening, and in that moment, he knows that his world is gone. It's literally destroyed. Everything he's ever known, everything he's ever loved, people are thinking he's the bad guy because he potentially did something, or he was doing something, but his world's gone. Cut to the present day, and Superboy Prime is with the Superman family, and they're all just kind of watching him should we trust him? Is he going to betray us? Is he going to do something useful? Should we help him? Even the Superman villains are I tussled with the Joker, and it messed me up for a long time. I don't even want to mess with this kid. So he's just sitting alone by himself, and then Krypto shows up, and I love this. This is such a great moment. I like that they gave some time for this. You know, because in an action-packed book like this, you could easily have skipped over the stuff with Krypto, but the dog's like, I don't care, it's just a cool guy. I just want to see this guy, and he's getting mad at the dog, but he finally shows his first form of sympathy, and he pets the dog, and he's scratching behind his ear, and he's like, I remember the first time I read a Krypto book, and then all of the Superman family's like, oh shit, what are you doing? And then instantly, who's the dorky Superboy in the leather jacket comes out, and he's like, what are you doing to the dog? Don't touch Krypto! And instantly, Superboy Prime goes back to his angry state where he's like, what? Get the dog away from me. I don't want to do anything with the dog. It's so stupid. And as they're having the conversation, the Batman Who Laughs sends his weird, Superman people down to attack them. And I love it. Superboy Prime's just yeah, look at all these stupid people just designed to fight us. They don't matter. I'm still better than all of them. I'm the only one. I'm the only evil Superman who's really held on for this long. They all suck. I'm the only one who's here who matters. And he's like, it's the good and the bad versus the lame. And I'm like, yeah. You summed up death metal, man. I think that's the entire point of the book. Anybody who's still getting mad that this book has no consequences, who cares? It's just a bunch of schlucky bullshit. None of it really matters. So Superboy's like, what's the point of this? I need a real fight. So he flies away. Our young, angry Superboy's like, I knew it. What a coward. He's never going to help us. But we just see in that instant, Superboy Prime starts flying away. He's looking at all these Earths lined up, and he has this weird idea of oh, that's me and Lori. We have a daughter or a kid. What is that future? Why is that there? And he's like, oh, just forget it. I'm just going to go punch the shit out of the Darkest Knight. And he's just getting mad. Just a fist fight with the Darkest Knight, just beating him up. He's like, you know what? Forget you and all of this shit. Everybody's done the same shit you have before. You don't matter. You're not special. Who hasn't tried to break reality and mold to their own image? I've done that, so shut up. And he's just getting sick. And he literally just punches him so much that you're like, huh, he might actually do it. He's like, you can't kill me. I'm gonna kill you. And you're like, oh my god, he literally just beat the Batman Who Laughs into oblivion pretty much. He's like literally ready to defeat him and destroy him. And he's standing over the darkest night and he's looking down. He's like, I could take all this power for myself and finally have it all back. I could have Laurie back, the world I wanted. But Krypto's standing behind him. He's like, oh, fuck, I can't do it if the dog's watching. So he starts to kind of tear up and he's like, oh, son of a bitch. He pretty much just kills the darkest night. And you're like, okay, cool. And even the darkest night's like, you could be the strongest of my supermen. You could lead the army. He's like, forget it, man. I'll just have to say goodbye to the world I always wanted with the people I've always cared about, and I'm never going to have that, so forget it. And he literally just shatters the darkest night, and you're like, oh, he killed him. We see reality shattering around him, and then he just crashes to the ground, and like, everyone's like, oh my god, they killed him. How did they do that? Who was that? And we see Krypto is standing over Superboy Prime, and you're like, oh, is he dead? And the dog cries out, "Arr!" You're like, oh, that's sad. Cut to the young Clark Kent from the beginning of the book reading the comic book that we have here, and he's like, what? I'm in the book? What's going on here? Why am I in the book? And he holds up the cover. It's the Secret Origin cover that we're seeing. Then Laurie's out. He's like, hey, you want to go get some dinner or something? He's like, Laurie, how are you here? How's anything here? Why am I here? What's going on? And she's like, oh, I'll come back later. You're reading your books. He's like, no, wait. It's fine. Like, these things always have it to be continued. Let's go hang out. Let's go have fun. Let's go do that. So he has a dog now. He's got his own Krypto because his world's kind of coming back. So he goes outside. He's like, it's really sunny. He's like, did I die? Maybe I used the power from the darkest night and I brought reality back to the way it was, even if it's just for me. Like, did we just find the conclusion to Superboy Prime? Did we save it? Did we do that? Did we actually do something good with Superboy Prime? Is that what we're saying? It's awesome. It's really awesome. So these kids are playing outside, and like one kid drops the ball into the street, and there's a car coming up. The kid trips, and Clark instantly runs out to the field. He's like, I'll save you, kid. But he lifts up the car, and you're like, oh, that's a great thing to see. What a great ending. He's like, oh, maybe this story isn't over. So I could come back if I wanted to. And you're like, that's great. That's awesome. I love it. You know what I love even more? This book was written by Jeff Johns and Scott Snyder. Like, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's great. Really fun. I'm just so happy. It's so cool. It's just so nice, man. Just to have this. Like, we're literally doing something with Superboy Prime where he's not an asshole. He's just longing to get his world back. And I'm like, that's cool. That's something awesome to do with that character. Because this character of Superboy Prime is essentially supposed to be us, the reader. And he's been obsessed with comic books so much to the point where he's literally thinks he's become Superman. He identifies as that character. And then when he's finally in that world, he's the villain. And then he's like, well, I'm going to do the thing that my heroes would do. The thing that Superman would do. And I'm going to do the ultimate sacrifice play to save these people. Even if they don't like me. Even if none of them respect me or want me. Even if the dog is watching, I'm going to do the right thing. He beats the Blackest Night. And he resets back reality, potentially. And now his life is the same as it was. But is it? It might not be. But there's always room for more. Comic books never end. And you're just like, thank you. I love you. Thank you for this. This is really cool. It also ends, like, the last word in the book is, maybe you should go for a walk too. And you're like, oh, thanks, book. Are you telling me I shouldn't spend my whole life surrounded by comic books or popular culture because then it might, like, obsessively take over everything about me and I'll start gatekeeping and telling people things they should or shouldn't like about a certain thing instead of actually enjoying something for what it is, and only I know how to correctly enjoy something as opposed to somebody else who might enjoy something a different way than me? Is that what you're saying in this book? Are you saying we're all Superboy Prime and we're all kind of gatekeeping comic books? And that we're taking death metal too seriously, so when we have a book like this where Superboy Prime actually defeats the Blackest Night and he gets the world he always wanted where he's still Superman, like, that's the world that we should like? Is that what you're saying to me, book? Like, we shouldn't, like, take this all so seriously? We shouldn't like comic books as much as we do? Like, buy your comic books, but, you know, go meet a girl, go hang out. Is that what you're saying, comic book? Is that what you're saying, Jeff and Scott? I think it is, and I agree with you. Oh man, this book... I love it. I'm glad it exists. I'm so happy we live in a world where I can sit down, read this book about Superboy Prime in a huge event, and I can actually understand what's going through the character's mind. It makes me incredibly happy to the point that I might change the thumbnail now. Oh, man. We'll see. But awesome stuff. I love that we have this. Is it my favorite tie-in? I think it is. I actually think this might be my favorite tie-in just because of what it does. I love it. Dark Knight's death metal, the secret origin, is perfect, and I am going to give it a 10 out of 10. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, and go for a walk once in a while. You never know what wonders live outside your door. Maybe not now because of a pandemic, but, you know, enjoy more than just comics, guys. Good luck.